The New York Knicks get a much-needed victory coming out of the All-Star break to beat the Philadelphia 76ers 110-96. All-around great effort from the squad. All-around great effort from the starting five. Bench unit stepped up there in the end. But, hey, coming out the All-Star break, we lost 4 games in a row prior to the All-Star break. And now we are 2-0 versus the Philadelphia 76ers, and it was a much-needed win because the Philadelphia 76ers are on our tail. They are on our tail. They are right behind us. So this win was very important. The Knicks now move to 34-22 on the season. They are 15-14 away from the Garden, and the 76ers go to 32-33. We can all breathe. Boy, I mean, that third quarter was... That gave us, that third quarter was dicey there. That third quarter was dicey. Knicks led by 23, and then the 76ers cut it all the way to 10 points. And, hey, I mean, we persevered, and we got the job done. Lynette in the chat, what's going on? Glad we came back from the break with a win. Lynette, what's going on? Whoa, why is it so big? Lynette, what's going on? Yes, I'm glad we came out the break with the victory, with the dub. It was a much-needed dub in Philly. We now move to 2-0 in Philly. One with Embiid, one without. But a lot of stuff to talk about this game. A lot of trophies to hand out tonight. A lot of trophies to hand out. And Precious is right there. Precious is right there on the top. Rick Pennington, what's going on? And the Cavs just that's Rick, what's going on? That Cavs lost tonight, that is big news for the New York Knicks. Donovan Mitchell was out, but who cares? Knicks win, Cavs lose. That's a win-win situation. But tonight, I mean, look, it starts with Jalen Brunson. You could tell he was a little bit rusty, probably a little bit fatigued from All-Star Weekend a little bit. He had his turnovers. He was missing his shots. But great players contribute in all aspects of the game. And what did Jalen Brunson do tonight? Jalen Brunson finished with 12 assists, still gave you 21 points, and 11 out of 11 from the free throw line, and plus 20 on the night. And great performance from JB with the 12 assists, sharing the rock. Tom Thibodeau made an adjustment there in the fourth quarter, putting McBride in the game, which I absolutely loved. And in that fourth quarter, I think Precious and McBride really changed that fourth quarter complexion. Precious on the defensive end, just continuing to play well, play out of this world. I can't say good enough things about Precious, man. I mean, since he's got inserted into the starting lineup, Precious Achiuwa is him. The Bronx native, Precious Achiuwa. And get this, he's only 24 years old. And it's every night. It's not like it's one night here, one night there. It's every night he is contributing on a high level. 18 points, 11 boards for Precious tonight, 4 offensive rebounds for Precious, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block shot. Thank you, Toronto. Thank you, Toronto. The Precious Achiuwa and OG Anunoby trade. Thank you, Toronto. But look, Precious, I thought, really changed the complexion of the game in that fourth quarter. 37 minutes tonight. He's been one of the league leaders in terms of minutes. Deuce McBride. Tom Thibodeau made an adjustment in that fourth quarter. McBride played the entire fourth. Stuck him on Maxey, and it kind of bothered Maxey a little bit because Maxey all game was getting to the paint too easily for my liking. Getting to the paint too easily. Stick McBride on Maxey, kind of bother him a little bit. You could tell he did bother him a little bit. Look, McBride, 4 points tonight, but 2 steals. Absolutely love what McBride gave us in that fourth quarter. 2 steals from McBride. Lynette says, Precious is the gift that keeps on giving. I can't explain it, honestly. I mean, I made a vid about Precious, and it's his defense has really, there was a couple of plays in that fourth quarter where he, just pokes balls away, deflections, just gets his hands into areas, blocking shots, doing the little things that it takes to win these basketball games. And that's what Precious has been doing. since Randall got hurt. And look, man, he's playing a lot of minutes, but he's 24, he's young, and the Knicks got to go in with Precious, man. I feel like he has more in the tank, and 7 and 9 from the field. He's not forcing it either. Even hit a 3 in the first quarter tonight. And the thing I loved is the 4 offensive rebounds. I mean, where did that come from? I mean, we missed that with Mitch being down, but Precious has stepped in here and just his will for the loose balls, his knickknacks for the offensive rebounding has been simply incredible. And Josh Hart, man. Josh Hart tonight, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists for Josh Hart tonight. 44 minutes coming out the All-Star break for Josh Hart. Great game out of Josh Hart tonight. I feel like he really was pushing the pace for the New York Knicks. Look, the second half, that third quarter is what we're really concerned about, right? And, we'll speak about the Bogdanovich great first half. But, that third quarter, it's really what we're concerned about. But, 76ers were home. They were going to make a run. They were going to, get back in the game, cut it all the way down to 10. Thibodeau called a timeout and made the transition and bringing McBride in. It happens. It's the NBA. I think the Knicks are now 13-0 on the road heading into the fourth quarter with a lead. So shout out to the squad for getting that done because it got real dicey in that third quarter. Rick says Precious was definitely impressive tonight. Yeah, Precious, Isaiah Hartenstein, only 11 minutes tonight, still gradually coming back from that sore Achilles. Knicks don't want to push it, and I do not blame them. Hartenstein slowly getting back gradually. It's just good to see him on the court. Buzzer beater, what's going on in the chat? Look, a much-needed victory for the New York Knicks tonight. A much-needed victory. We did not want to make it 5 straight losses. Got the dub in Philly. 2-0 versus Philly this year. And that's important because they're behind us. And, we could talk about the injuries that we're dealing with. We can talk about this and that. But Tom Thibodeau and it seems like the Knicks are like, hey, those guys will come back when they come back at this point. I'll talk about the Randall injury later on. I'll talk about the OG Anunoby. They both spoke for the first time. But those guys are going to come back when they come back. Right now, we're dealing with what we have. That third quarter. Yeah, the third quarter for the New York Knicks was... Look, it brought me back to, third quarter of doom, as we all know it, right? We all know the third quarter of doom. But credit to the coaching staff making the adjustments. Credit to, Deuce. Credit to Precious locking in there in the fourth quarter. Just credit to everyone persevering and getting this win. We just needed to get back on the board because, 4 losses in a row, it just heading into the All-Star break, it just left like a stank taste in your mouth, and you wanted to come out the All-Star break with a victory, and that's what the Knicks did. So credit to the guys, man. Credit to the guys. Buzzerbeater says, I refuse to call a grown man Precious. Well, you better get used to it because that is his name. Precious Achiuwa has arrived. This is now multiple games in a row from Precious that, let me just take a look at his box score in his previous games because he has been doing this night in, night out for the New York Knicks. Tonight, 18 points, 11 rebounds. Let me just share my screen so you guys can see this. All right, tonight, 18 points, 11 rebounds. Orlando, 23 points, 14 rebounds, 17 rebounds at Houston. Double digits in scoring and double digits in the rebounding. Precious is just, he's so precious. Like Clyde Frazier liked to say, Precious, he is so freaking precious. I sound weird saying that, but hey, buzzer beater, you refuse to call a grown man precious. You got to start getting used to it, man. Get Big Task, what's going on, man? Always appreciate you in here rocking with us. Another post game. New York Knicks win against the Philadelphia 76ers, just chopping it up and talking about a great victory, man. Big Task says, can we talk about Precious? Yeah, we've been. I've opened the post game talking about Precious. I feel like, look, when the Knicks acquired him, it was like the OG Anunoby trade, and then Precious was looked at as like a kind of like a throw-in to a lot of people. didn't really know too much of Precious. Bounced around the league quite a bit. The Heat, Toronto, now in New York. And Raptors fans, the real fans that actually watch the Raptors games and actually like know what they're looking at, I saw them on Twitter saying, you guys got a good one. I mean, Precious, he's underrated defensively. Offensively, still needs a little bit of work, but he's not polished by any means. And he's coming in, doing this, playing his role, not doing too much, double-digit rebounding, offensive rebounding, blocking shots, and the defense has just been there, man. The defense has just been there. So, look, Precious was definitely just not a throw-in. Precious has been doing this since the Miami Heat game when Julius Randle went down. Precious has been doing this. So, shout out to Precious, man. Been playing his ass off, man. Joel, what's going on in the chat? Bojan Bogdanovic was on fire with them threes. First half, 19 points, 7 and 8 from the field, 5 of 5 from three-point land from Bojan Bogdanovic. The shooters showed up in that first half. That's why we acquired Bogdanovic right there. Those offensive spurts that we were missing off the bench, those offensive, firepower that we were missing a little bit off the bench. We'll talk about Burks, and I just feel like he's in a funk right now. But Bojan Bogdanovic, sniper. And if you're to park Bogdanovic and DiVincenzo in the corner, and then when OG Anunoby comes back, sorry, look out, because that is scary. That is a scary situation. Bogdanovic in the corner, DiVincenzo in another corner, OG Anunoby creating. I'm loving it. But we saw it tonight. DiVincenzo and Bogdanovic seem to be forming a little bit of chemistry. Jalen Brunson and Precious seem to be forming a lot of chemistry, which I absolutely love, because Brunson with the 12 assists tonight, and him and Precious seem to be feeding off one another. They seem to be, have a little two-man game going, which I absolutely love. But yes, Bogdanovic in that first half, 19 points, 5 of 5 from three. When it's going up from Bogdanovic, I'm surprised that it's not going. It's not going in. He hit a big three. I think it was the third quarter in the corner. If you guys know what I'm talking about. He hit a big three in the corner. Josh Hart passed it to him. Man was draped all over Bogdanovic. Hit a three. I was like, wow. That's that length that he brings, man. He's 6'9", 6'10", knocking 3-point shots like that. He's going to score for us. He is going to score for us. Now, Alec Burks, missed 2 free throws there in the fourth. And, hey, I mean, just off game from Burks. Just an off game from Burks. That's all I'll say about Alec Burks. Rick says, we got to remain ahead of Orlando and Indy. We lost season series to both. Would hate to have a tiebreaker scenario. Yeah, that's the thing about those losses that stink. But we just got to stay ahead of them. I mean, look, like you said, the Cleveland Cavaliers lost tonight, so that is great for the New York Knicks, and the 76ers lost because we beat them. So the New York Knicks are now still in the 4th seed, and they are, here are the New York Knicks. So they're still in the 4th seed. They are 34-22 on the season. They are just a game back of the Milwaukee Bucks. Just a game back of the Milwaukee Bucks at this moment. And if the New York Knicks can get the top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, that would be absolutely huge for this squad. The Knicks are now 15-14 away from Madison Square Garden. We're a great home team, 19-8. But this is what made this win so important. Indiana draped all over us. 76ers are behind us. This win gave the Knicks a little bit of breathing room that we needed, and just a heck of a win for the squad. Joel says, at the beginning of the season, I felt the Knicks were getting too many paint points. Now I feel like the Knicks are getting too many 3 points. I think it should be balanced. Can't wait to get Randall back. Yeah, I mean, that'll be balanced when Randall, you could tell we're missing length down there, man. Guys are still getting to the paint at will. And, OG Anunoby, Randall, just their size alone will prevent that. But you can tell that we're missing. Look, Philadelphia, one of the main reasons why they got back into this game is because they started playing physical with the Knicks. They started playing real physical with the Knicks, and the rest were letting it go. And shout out to the Zebras again for almost blowing the game for the Knicks. But they were playing physical, and, when the Knicks are missing that much length, that much, big bodies, but hey, We will get it back. Randall will come back. And, yeah, the paint points, I'm not concerned about that. Buzzer Beater says, Anthony, I got foolproof way for the WNBA to become 6. Come on, Buzzer Beater, man. Come on, Buzzer Beater. Rick Pennington says, let's go. Let's go. Another victory. We're back on track. That is a big win for the New York Knicks. Look at it however you want it. That is a big win for the New York Knicks. And I thought Precious and Dante DiVincenzo late in that fourth quarter, when they brought Dante DiVincenzo back in the game, he had a couple of big threes there in that fourth quarter. And Precious, again, been saying it all night, been saying it every single post game, been saying it for the last few weeks. Precious Achiuwa, salute to you, sir, man. He's been playing his ass off, man. He's been playing his ass off, and he's been a huge contributor to this squad. So, 23-point lead at the half, quickly dwindled down to 10 points in that third quarter. But look, it's the NBA. It's the NBA. Tyler says, Tyler, man, what's going on in the chat? Nice to get back on track. Yeah. Look, when you got teams draped in front of you and behind you, when you got the Indiana Pacers and the 76ers still behind you, it's nice to give yourself a little bit of separation. And 2-0 versus 76ers, tiebreakers are a thing in the NBA. This win is huge for the New York Knicks. And now we just have to keep stacking these wins. The guys that Jalen Brunson said it best, we can't keep worrying about what we will be and have to worry about what we are today. Got some news for OG Anunoby and the Julius Randle injury front, but right now we just have to worry about Bogdanovich, Alec Burks trying to get their roles situated. It seems like Bogdanovich is ahead of the game rather than Alec Burks. Burks there in the fourth quarter missing those 2 free throws, and I think he's top 5 in the NBA in free throw percentage, which is kind of crazy. And I was like, come on, Alec. But it happens. But yeah, Bogdanovich, man, it just shows you what he will provide for us towards this stretch run and in the playoffs. He will be a huge contributor in the playoffs. He will be. Tyler says Philly's going to drop down these East standings like a bad habit without Embiid. Yeah, they're not that great with Embiid. I mean, they showed some fight tonight, but I think they're now lost 5 straight games. The Philadelphia 76ers, if I'm not mistaken. 5 or 6 straight games. So, yeah. No. 3 straight games for the 76ers. But, yeah, I mean, they're not, Embiid is the engine in Philly. So, as long as Embiid is out, the Knicks have to kind of separate themselves from Philly. Kind of separate yourselves from Philly. So, we're not concerned about Philly. And like I said, if you get that 3rd seed, that would be massive for the New York Knicks. IS Productions, what's going on? Third quarter was close, but we came back strong in the fourth. Great and important win tonight. What's going on, IS? Yeah, in that third quarter, they cut it down to 10, man. That got dicey, man. Got dicey, but we pulled out. We persevered. 5 straight at home. Yeah, I thought I heard Mike Green say 5 straight. Yeah, we persevered, and we got it done. I mean, that's the only thing that matters. I mean, look, it happens. Teams go up big. Teams make their runs. Shout out to Tom Thibodeau making the adjustment, putting McBride in the game, leaving him on Maxey, just giving Maxey, just bother him a little bit. Put a body on him, be physical with him. The 76ers were being physical with Brunson. Brunson was, I mean, when is Brunson going to get these foul calls? I mean, there's about 5 to 8 times a game where he's getting fouled and he's just not getting called. I mean, I guess that's, I don't understand it. It really gets me upset, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Joel says OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson are back in March expected. Yeah, I mean, look, Anunoby says it is too soon to tell. This is from Anunoby. He says it is too soon. No target date. It's too early to tell. Just following the doctor's orders, following the medical staff, just progressing day by day, but I'm feeling better and better. So, yeah, I want to be back as soon as possible for sure. OG Anunoby wants to get back on the court. Just a waiting game. Just a waiting game right now with OG Anunoby. So, hopefully he can get back on the court. Hopefully, I don't think it's a major injury. I heard Barton Hahn on the Alan Hahn show say that he's gotten that procedure done, and usually it's just a couple of weeks after the procedure, a few weeks after the procedure, and then you're good to go. So, OG Anunoby and Julius Randle still says that he's progressing, he's getting healthy, he's getting stronger, but he has not ruled out surgery yet. So right now we just have to cross our fingers for Julius Randle and see how that progresses, and hopefully Julius Randle can get back on the court and whatnot. But right now we're focused on what we have currently, and I like what I saw from the squad. Cam, what's going on? Glad to be back in the win column, especially versus a team so close in the standings with us. Yeah, I've been saying it, man. Philly is right there behind us, and it's good to separate a little bit, and it's good that the Cleveland Cavaliers lost tonight as well. Even though we're 3 games behind the Cleveland Cavaliers, every win matters. Now, I think there's only 26 games remaining in the season, which is crazy. Only 26 games remaining, which, look, we got Boston on Saturday. That's going to be tough, at home in Madison Square Garden. This is why this win was so important. This is why every win is so important. We got Boston on Saturday. Would have loved to have everyone healthy for that match. Unfortunately, not. But hey, crazier things have happened, right? We're a great home team, and you never know in the NBA, and that would be a massive dub for us for the New York Knicks. And then we have some winnable games after that. We have Boston, and then it's at Chicago. No, what am I looking at right now? Let me pull up the Knicks schedule. Let me pull up the Knicks schedule for you guys. All right. So we have at Boston Saturday. Versus Boston Saturday, then versus the Detroit Pistons, versus the Pelicans. Might be going to that game, actually. Versus the Golden State Warriors, and then at Cleveland, which would be a big game. Versus the Hawks, versus Orlando. We got to beat Orlando. We're 0-3. What are we, 0-3 versus Orlando this year? Got to beat them, man. I'm tired of the Magic. Then a home and home versus Philly. So look at all these home games right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of the next 9 games are in Madison Square Garden. And the New York Knicks play extremely well in Madison Square Garden. 8 out of the next 9 games are in Madison Square Garden for the New York Knicks. So, take care of business at home. Saturday is going to be a tough affair. I would love to get that win. Beating Boston in MSG would be amazing. Without the guys. Joel says the Knicks must beat the Celtics. We should have beat the Celtics the first game of the season. Revenge is waiting. Oh, yeah, that infamous flop call with Jalen Brunson. I remember that, too. We should have beat them. As well. S550, man, what's going on? Bogey was hooped and kept us in the lead. In that second quarter, man, he could not miss. Bogdanovich could not miss in that second quarter. Flame throwers, the shooters shoot. This is why we acquired Bogdanovich, Alec Burks. No, he's struggling a little bit right now, but this is why we acquired these guys from Detroit. Saw some pushback on Twitter about, the acquisition of them, but you're seeing firsthand why that firepower off the bench is so important. And now with everyone out, you bring in Bogdanovich, scoring those 19 first half points, 5 of 5 from 3, 7 and 8 from the field. He's an over 40% 3-point shooter for the New York Knicks. So he's gonna get the rock, and when he's gonna get rock, he better be shooting it. So yeah, shout out to Bogdanovich tonight. Shout out to Precious. Brunson with the gritty, gutsy game from Brunson. Love that he got to the line 11 times tonight. 7 turnovers. Look, he just got back from the All-Star game. Not concerned about that. With great players, contribute in other ways. And with the 12 assists that he had tonight, that's what JB does. He's a warrior. So shout out to Jalen Brunson. And look, fourth quarter, like I said, DiVincenzo and Precious really stepped up for the New York Knicks tonight. But yeah, going back to this schedule, I'm really liking what I'm seeing in this stretch right here. If we can beat Boston, then look at these games at home. Detroit, Quentin Grimes coming home game. And then the Pelicans, and then the Warriors. That Cleveland game is going to be big, man. And then after that, winnable games. Atlanta, Orlando, 76ers back-to-back. And then at Portland, and we go back on the West Coast Strip. Last West Coast Strip of this season. Only 26 games left for the New York Knicks. Can you believe it? S550 says, how do you feel about odds against the Celtics on Saturday. I like them. I like them. Call me crazy, but I like them. You know, the Knicks are a great home team. They're a great home team. And hopefully this game gave them a little bit of momentum. Now, you know, rest up tomorrow. Go home tonight. Rest up tomorrow. Look, Celtics play kind of funky in MSG. They don't really play their game in MSG. Like, they're a great team, don't get me wrong, but when they come to the Garden, it always seems like it's up in the air, right? So, you know, make it a close game there at the end, and you never know. So, I like our chances, though. Donovan says, I hope Randle don't need surgery. I hope, music to my ears, I hope Julius Randle doesn't need surgery, but my inclination is I think Julius Randle will come back middle of March, and I think that, you know, he'll play through it, and then if he does need surgery, he said that if he does need surgery, he's going to do what's best for his body, as he should. But right now it's looking like positivity coming out of Randle, and that's what we want to hear from Jew. Joel says, I want Brunson to get a 60-point game. He hesitates a little when going from three sometimes, especially today. I didn't see threes from Brunson. He was struggling with his threes, snapped out of it a little bit. But, look, he had a long weekend, Jalen Brunson. He had a long weekend. So this is why, you know, with the 12 assists, he contributed in other aspects of the game. Him and Precious, like I said, are forming something on the court. Him and Precious are forming something good on the court. So I'm just in awe of Precious, man. Going back to Precious, man, this guy from Toronto, I mean, didn't really know what to expect from him, and just has been a revelation for this team, revelation for the Knicks, stepping in when Julius Randle was out and stepping into that starter role, not doing too much, not, you know, forcing it, even though he got Tom Thibodeau yelling at him sometimes, doesn't faze him, doesn't bother him. And that's what I love, because just little things that he's impacting the game, double-digit rebounding, scoring now, and he's been a big part of, you know, our small success from the time Randle and Anunoby went down. But, you know, I know it hasn't really shown up in the win column kind of, but he's just been stacking up the numbers. And shout out to Precious again with another great game. And, yeah, more to come from Precious, man. More to come for Precious. All right, first quarter. Do I want to run on the game? Look, Knicks out-rebounded. The thing about tonight's game was that the rebounds, too. We out-rebounded them. Let me go back to the box score. Because I know we out-rebounded them. And that's the key for the New York Knicks. You know, ever since, you know, we know that we're a great rebounding team, and we out-rebounded the 76ers tonight. Let me just pull this up for you guys. What was the final rebounding total? 45 rebounds to the Knicks, 38 for the 76ers. All right, so they caught up a little bit, because we were out rebounding them in that first quarter. It was 16-7. And then third quarter, they weren't missing. And how about Kyle Lowry? Are we over Kyle Lowry? Are we annoyed about Kyle Lowry? I'm kind of like over the Kyle Lowry experiment. It seems like every time he plays the Knicks, he just... Look, he's an annoying player, and I know that, you know, look, he's a great player. He's a good player. But Kyle Lowry is just one of those annoying players that you just hate to face all the time on the other end of the court. But yeah, big win for the New York Knicks. Got the Boston Celtics on Saturday. Got back in the win column. Shout out to Precious Achiuwa. Josh Hart with a great game. Jalen Brunson with the 12 assists. Dante DiVincenzo, great to see him back out there. Hit a couple of big threes at the end. Bogdanovich, shooters shoot and shooters make. Bogdanovich, and shout out to McBride, bothering Tyrese Maxey there at the end, kind of making it tough for him, kind of changed the complexion of that fourth quarter. And shout out to Thibs making that adjustment. So Boston Celtics on Saturday. If you haven't done already, please smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. As always, I will be back on Saturday talking about the Boston Celtics game. Hope to see you all in here again. Shout out to everyone in the chat, always supporting and whatnot. But hey, big win for the squad. Much needed win. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.